Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Appreciate you jumping on. What the hell is going on with the SEC case? That's the question everybody is asking. Before we get to some news on that, let's take a look at pricing. Bitcoin is down slightly, sitting at 67,329. Ethereum sitting at 2,606. Solana sitting at 150 and XRP sitting at 54 cents. All these pretty much flat with the exception of Solana over the last 24 hours. Solana is down 2.73%. Now, let's jump into some news on the SEC versus Ripple case and the appeal. Here from Crypto Law, which is, if you didn't know, a channel on YouTube started by John Deaton. John Deaton, of course, who's running for Senate against Elizabeth Warren in Massachusetts. And Crypto Law here says, once again, at Moon Lambo is quite right about how ridiculous this late filing is. But remember that the SEC under Gary Gensler has run afoul of rules and has failed to show faithful allegiance to the law before. But why did they miss this deadline? Here's a thread from Crypto Law. Let's run through this. Crypto Law says the SEC lost on the core question that XRP token itself is not a security, and they have indicated they wouldn't appeal that finding by Judge Torres. They also expressed regret for using the term crypto asset security elsewhere because it was a made-up term, if you recall that. 3, the SEC was slammed by Magistrate Judge Sarah Netburn for its hypocrisy and lack of faithful allegiance to the law in its panicked attempts to hide the Hinman documents from Ripple. The SEC was sanctioned last March by a judge for gross abuse of power in its case against Debtbox, where it lied to a court in pursuit of another crypto company. Number 5, about an hour before the SEC filed its notice of appeal of the Ripple case, the SEC director, Gabor Garwal, resigned as part of a recent wave of resignation at the agency. And finally, all of this raises the important question, especially after the reporting by Eleanor Tourette, that the appeal is going forward. What is going on inside the SEC right now? Why did this happen? So apparently the SEC is late in its filing. The latest news is that they did file, but the question is it late or not? I think this just shows how the SEC is, quite frankly, mismanaged right now, and it's a mess. So what would be wonderful is if the judge did not accept it since it was late, but Fred Rispoli has reported that the Court of Appeals gives a lot of leeway, and that probably will not happen. The appeal will move forward, which will mean we're going into this case into the middle of 2025 for sure. So moving on, also in regards to Ripple, Lori reports here says all your RLUSD, the stable coin for Ripple, questions answered. Let's take a listen to her video here on RLUSD.
This video is going to answer just about every question you have had since you heard Ripple was launching a stablecoin. So you're going to want to stick around for this one. For everyone that can't seem to wrap their mind around the idea that XRP and RLUSD will be used side by side, Monica Lam, the president of Ripple, has confirmed their plans to use XRP and RLUSD in the Ripple payment solution. On the first day of Ripple's annual conference, Ripple Swell, Long disclosed the exchange partners for their highly anticipated stablecoin. RLUSD will be available on Bitstamp, Independent Reserve, Bitso, MoonPay, Coinmina, Bullish, and Uphold once the New York Department of Financial Service approves the stablecoin's launch. Now, here are some details you may not know yet. RLUSD is specifically designed for financial applications such as tokenization, payments, and DeFi, decentralized finance. RLUSD was introduced in response to requests for enterprise-grade stablecoin. Ripple is planning to use RLUSD and XRP together. Its clients can use any of the tokens for cross-border payments. Schwartz has also acknowledged that Ripple USD will not replace XRP. According to him, only XRP can be used to pay transaction fees on the ledger, a function that cannot be replaced by any other tokens, including the stablecoin RLUSD. Also highlighted certain features that make XRP unique from other assets, which includes the fact that XRP cannot be frozen on the XRP ledger, carries no counterparty risks, and has no jurisdictional limitations. The advisory board was also announced for RLUSD. The committee features top financial players like Ripple's co-founder, Larson, former FDIC chair, Sheila Bair, and former JP Morgan executive, David Ruth. Currently, the major factor preventing the stablecoin from going live on the mainnet is regulatory approval from NYDFS. The financial regulator is still reviewing the token to ascertain whether it meets certain regulatory requirements. Make sure you are joining me here every day for the latest on Ripple, XRP, and where they're headed with the future of the financial system. I hope that answers some questions.
So great reporting there from Lori Reports on the RLUSD. It's coming. It's just a matter of time before this thing gets approved by the New York DFS, and we think that's going to happen soon. Eleanor Tourette coming back in here from talking about the SEC case again. She said there's no pacer filling, and the lawyers I've spoken to, including at Ripple's general counsel, said the October 16th was the condition, was the deadline. We know that Joel Katz believed the deadline has passed as well from Ripple. She says here, I find it really hard to believe the SEC would just let this important deadline sail by, but who knows? I've reached out to the SEC for comments, and I think she finally got one saying they did appeal, they did what they needed to do, but of course we know it was late now, so we should get more news on that. But the SEC is a mess, but their appeal will likely be accepted. Moving on here, Ripple posts global banks are evolving to meet the demands of custody and security. In this Ripple Swell panel, this gentleman, Thomas Sullivan, describes how they're adapting to enhance protection and manage risk in today's complex financial landscape. Let's take a listen to this short clip on everybody adapting here. Take a listen.
There is a legacy of trust that we've been able to build and establish with customers. And you need to have trust. You need to trust your parties, whether it be your technology providers, whether it be your custodians. You know, that's what we're definitely seeing, is that customers want to be able to, have responsible parties that they can interact with, that they can, have that established trust. Most institutions' assets are in traditional finance today. And you want to have the experience where, you can see all of your assets in one place and, have that seamless experience.
Imagine how important that must be for institutions to see all their assets in one place, right? They can't be scrambling between multiple, ledgers to try to find things. They're going to be doing this on the XRPL, and it's going to be huge. So more from Eleanor Tourette here. She says, new MoonPay announces partnership with Ripple for customers to buy, manage, and store XRP directly in the MoonPay app. So again, these partnerships, we talk about it all the time. The partnerships with Ripple are nonstop, and they are going to be a one-stop shop as it relates to crypto, and they are that already. And Jack the Rippler comes in here and says, breaking Ripple President Monica Long says 2024 has been the biggest year of institutional adoption for digital assets and blockchain that we've seen to date. Remember, late last year, they said 2024 was going to be big. And so far it has been, with a lot of great stuff coming out, and Ripple Swell continuing. So let's take a listen to Monica.
In our industry, we think the headline of 2024, it has been the biggest year of institutional adoption for digital assets and blockchain that we've seen to date. And we think this has been driven by three trends: momentum for global regulatory clarity, crypto getting validation from Wall Street as a bona fide asset class, tokenization of real-world assets. And we think this is just the tip of the iceberg. We know from working with financial institutions for many years that what they want is a one-stop shop that provides secure and compliant digital asset infrastructure. And that's what we do.
That's what Ripple does. We talked about it, one-stop shop. So big stuff there from Monica. That's going to do it for today. Do me a favor, hit that like and subscribe button, and we'll see you on the flip side.